I am Kyle Anderson, advertising manager for Talking Stick Resort. One of the areas in Arizona that hasn't been tapped into from an event standpoint is esports. So at Talking Stick Resort, we always want to be the first and the best in these areas. Esports is the biggest growing sport in the nation.
In the next few years, esports is expected to grow into a $2 billion industry. The average person under the age of 25 now watches more esports and streams than regular sports on television, which means more companies are getting into the game.
What I like about playing in a venue like Talking Stick is it gives you this feel like you could be the smallest tournament. Maybe it's a monthly that we have there or something, but it makes you feel like you're on the big stage, even if you're not. So it kind of helps prepare you for when that moment comes, when it is your turn to get on the big stage. There's less nerves because events like Talking Stick.
We've built a tradition on entertainment, being Arizona's top entertainment destination, and that comes in so many different forms. Our showroom facility is a great place to host esports events due to the nature of the way it's set up. It can fit 700 people, great technological advances, great displays throughout the whole showroom. Back in October of 2017, that's when we started our first event. From there we've done 3 events. At that time we partnered with a company who was known for putting on these type of esports events. From there we had growth for every single event. That led to interest from Red Bull and others who have reached out to us.
The fighting game community itself started off really small, grassroots, and over the years has gone bigger and bigger and bigger, with events getting even larger, where we started off with small kind of events locally, but now look where we're at. Red Bull is part of it. Red Bull is always known to cater to extreme sports, right? But now we have gamers also drinking the product and then saying, oh, I can see the benefits of Red Bull. And from a business perspective, that really changes how you look at how you market, how you plan, how you strategize for the year. I can get this audience that I didn't know I had before.
One of the biggest staples for us when we think of good events in fighting games, aside from the ones that are, like I say, like grassroots that we already know, is Red Bull. They were the first ones to kind of jump on, and they're the ones who get the most people out for their events.
It's cool to see Red Bull sort of reaching out and attempting to integrate themselves with the community more. It's an effort they've been carrying on for several years now.
They're putting in money into games and events that thrive in a sense, and the communities that support it. So it's really exciting to see all those big companies supporting games. Red Bull sponsoring events is amazing. They always take care of the players. They always take care of the events. And I really hope they keep pushing for Street Fighter. I really hope they keep pushing for any fighting game and keep supporting us the way they do right now.
It's a no-brainer. Everyone plays video games, so why wouldn't you sponsor an event that has everyone going to it? Video games is growing, it's expanding, it's becoming its own living, breathing thing. It grows exponentially so much every single year. It's ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot of things that people like to read into, like what kind of expected growth you can see for your business or your project. And it's almost like the rules don't apply with esports because people just come out of the woodworks time and time again, and the growth is just so high.
You can take a look at it kind of like how traditional sports is done or how traditional marketing is done. So when you have like this audience of gamers, you want to look at what products will relate to them, right? So whether it's drinks, peripherals, specific games, consoles, apparel, you know, it's a great way to see what your product can be and how flexible and how dynamic it can be. We have an audience of millions of people. That's people watching online, people attending the events. There's no stopping to how big it can get.
Yo, wait, that was sick. Yo, wait, that was sick.
From a hosting perspective, 496 rooms here at Talking Stick Resort, so we can attract both people locally and people from out of town who want to visit us, stay for a couple nights, depending on the nature of the tournament. I think adapt and grow is kind of the model. We just started these last year, so we're still early in this transition period of being the home of esports.
It's pretty cut and dry. It's the new, you're getting in on the ground floor right now if you get on, the bandwagon. It's gonna blow up whether you sponsor it or not. so you might as well be a part of it.
There's no doubt the esports industry is on fire, but for these gamers, there is no cheat code to get there by yourself. Fruition begins with family.
The first time I played a video game, my parents actually bought me just like the very first NES, like the old gray and black, put the cartridge in. I got Duck Hunt and Mario. I played video games a lot, but I was also back in the generation, you know, where you still went outside and did things. So I'd say around the age of 16 or so is where I got like an Xbox 360 and really started to dive into gaming more than doing other things.
I love video games because my mom and my dad bought me a Super Nintendo when I was very young, and they'd let me play it if I was good. I think them being accepting of me playing games, even as I grew a little bit older at a time, really helped foster my love for them. And you know, I still remember when I told my mom, hey, I'm gonna go out of state to this tournament, you know, but I need you to drive me. I was like 12 years old. She drove 6 hours to all the way up to Seattle. I lived in Oregon at the time. She drove all the way up there just for me to play in my first bracket.
My parents just know that I play games. They're supportive because it doesn't impact my life negatively, and they're at least happy that, you know, all those video games I played when I was a student are at least paying off somewhat.
My parents didn't really want me to focus on fighting games and focus on games at all. They wanted me to focus on education and my job, which I did. But ultimately, as I found more success in competing and traveling, they began to be more supportive.
My parents think it's really cool. At first, they were like, you know, hesitant on like me going out by myself and going out to all these tournaments. But once they seen the results and that, you know, I came back safe every time, they're really supportive about it.
Here we go, the grand finals underway. Key Ling from Japan gets the jackhammer.
Next on Road to the Red Bull Conquest.
Once you go to your first tournament, you're either a competitive person or you're not. So you either get hooked or you get scared away.
Becoming a league of its own, how the esports community turned a hobby into a nationwide competition.